They say the greatest battle ever fought is not waged with swords or guns, not in boardrooms or on battlefields, but in silence, in shadows, within the chambers of the human mind. That is where your destiny is forged. That is where kings are crowned and slaves are shackled. Before a man builds a fortune, he builds a mindset. Before a woman commands the world, she conquers herself. Because, make no mistake, you either master your mind or you become its servant. And if you don't take the reins, your mind will ride you into chaos. It will chain you to fear. It will whisper lies in the voice of reason. It will dress mediocrity as comfort until you sleepwalk through life, wondering why your dreams never became your reality. But here's the truth. Your mind is not your enemy. It's your rawest, most powerful tool. More dangerous than fire, more valuable than gold. But like any tool, it obeys its master. The question is, who's the master? Too many live their entire lives as prisoners in a palace, surrounded by the riches of potential, but locked behind mental walls they never tried to tear down. They obey old programming, recycled beliefs, voices of doubt that were never theirs to begin with, and they never stop to ask, what if I rewrote the code? Edison failed over 1,000 times, but he wasn't failing. He was training his mind to refuse defeat. He was conditioning his thoughts to outlast discouragement. He wasn't just inventing the light bulb. He was forging the mindset of a man who would change the world. So, what about you? What are you building in secret, inside your head? Because you are always building, every day. Every thought you entertain, every belief you rehearse, every fear you feed, every dream you deny. They're bricks, and you are either building a temple or a tomb. You see, the mind is a garden. Neglect it, and weeds will grow. Fast. Fear, doubt, laziness, they need no permission. But greatness, discipline, vision, you must plant them. You must water them. You must protect them like sacred fire. You must become the gatekeeper of your own thoughts, because not everything that enters your mind deserves to stay. And that takes strength, real strength. Not the kind the world posts online. Not the ego-fed, shallow shell of confidence that collapses under pressure. But the kind forged in silence when no one is watching. The kind you build when you choose belief over comfort. When you choose purpose over pleasure. When you choose responsibility over excuse. This is where most people fail. Not in their actions, but in their intentions. Because your mind does not answer to your wishes, it answers to your standards. You don't get what you want. You get what you expect. You get what you believe is possible. You get what you demand of yourself when the world gives you nothing. Carnegie wasn't born a tycoon. He was born in poverty. But his mind was rich, long before his bank account ever caught up. He saw wealth. He felt abundance. He expected greatness. And so the universe had no choice but to deliver. Because that's how it works. You don't attract what you wish for. You attract what you are. And what you are is the product of what you think. So tell me again, who's really in control? Because if your mind is driving and you're asleep at the wheel, don't be surprised when you crash into regret. Don't be shocked when years pass and your dreams are still gathering dust, waiting for you to wake up. There is no savior coming. There is no perfect time. There is only now, only this moment, only this choice. Will I master my mind, or be ruled by it? And that mastery begins not with lightning bolts of motivation, but with quiet, deliberate decision. A decision to think differently, to question the noise, to confront the voice that says, "You're not enough," and answer back, "Watch me." The world doesn't need more noise. It needs clarity. It needs vision. It needs people who think, people who feel, people who refuse to live on autopilot, Because autopilot is death in disguise. It keeps you breathing, but not alive. It gives you comfort, but robs you of growth. It keeps you safe, but buries your purpose. And your purpose is not safe. It is dangerous. It is disruptive. It will tear you from your comfort and demand everything from you. Your energy, your discipline, your focus, your pain, your past. But in return, it will give you freedom. And that freedom begins with thought. The greatest enemy you'll ever face is the voice inside your own head. It knows your weaknesses. It knows your history. It knows exactly when to whisper, "Stay small," when to shout, "You're not ready," and when to seduce you with comfort just as you're about to break through. But here's the secret no one teaches you. That voice is not you. It's the residue of old programming. It's every fear you've inherited, every rejection you've internalized, every limitation you never questioned. You were not born doubting yourself. You learned it. So now, it's time to unlearn it. Because the mind will believe whatever you feed it. Tell it you're broken, and it will find every reason to prove you right. Tell it you are powerful, and it will begin to search for strength. Not because the facts changed, but because you did. You see, change doesn't begin in your actions. It begins in your identity. And identity is shaped in silence. When you close the door, shut out the world, and decide, "This is who I will become," that's the moment your mind starts to shift. That's the moment you stop reacting and start commanding. Because power doesn't come from control. It comes from alignment. When your thoughts, your words, and your actions all say the same thing. The world listens. Doors open. People respond. Opportunities find you. But it all starts inside. Because, let's be honest, most people aren't fighting the world. They're fighting themselves. They sabotage their own momentum. They shrink from their own calling. They say, "one day," and spend decades waiting for a someday that never comes. But the truth is, you don't need more time. You need more truth. You need to ask yourself hard questions, like, what thought patterns have I been obeying? What lies have I been calling truth? What stories have I told myself that have kept me small? Because every limitation begins as a story, and every breakthrough begins with a decision to write a new one. You want to master your mind? Then stop recycling yesterday's excuses and start designing tomorrow's identity. Because nothing changes until you do. You can read every book, watch every video, hire every coach, but if your mind is still programmed for lack, for fear, for survival, then abundance will always feel like sabotage. This is why some people win the lottery and lose it all. It's why some people get the relationship of their dreams and destroy it. It's why some finally get the chance of a lifetime and choke. Because the outer world can only rise to meet the standards of your inner world. And if your mind isn't ready, the blessing becomes a burden. So ask yourself, are you mentally prepared for the life you claim to want? Because dreams are not given. They are earned. Not in sweat first, but in thought, in belief, in focus. This world is shaped by those who dare to discipline their minds, who dare to think differently in a world addicted to distraction, who reject the herd and embrace solitude. Because it is in the stillness that power is born. Don't fear solitude. It is not loneliness, it is strategy. Because the mind only becomes clear when the noise fades, and clarity is a weapon. Clarity tells you what to pursue and what to ignore. Clarity silences doubt. Clarity gives you courage to say, "This is my path. Burn the ships. There is no turning back." That's where transformation begins. Not with external validation, not with applause, but with one quiet, unwavering conviction: I will no longer be ruled by a mind I did not master. So how do you master it? You train it. You train your mind the way a warrior trains his hands. Daily, deliberately, without excuse. You feed it with the thoughts of giants. You starve it of distraction. You reject mediocrity with violence. You meditate. You journal. You visualize. You speak life, even when you feel like dying. You guard the gates of your mind like your future depends on it. Because it does. And when the doubt returns, and it will, you don't argue. You act. Because action kills fear. Action silences confusion. Action builds confidence faster than any affirmation ever could. That's how you rewire the brain. Not with hope, but with habit. And the habit is this. Decide, then move. Decide, then act. Don't wait for clarity. Create it. Don't wait for confidence. Build it. Because the mind obeys momentum. And momentum begins with one courageous step. You've heard the voice of fear. You've danced with doubt. You've been seduced by comfort and crushed by hesitation. But now, something deeper is waking up inside you. Not hype, not ego, but fire. The fire that says, I was not born to live on my knees. I was not created to play small. I will no longer negotiate with weakness. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Your mind will not stop trying to enslave you. It will tempt you every day to go back to the old you. The lazy you. The distracted you. The victimized, addicted, excuse-making version of you. But mastery. Mastery is when you rise above the noise and say, not today, not anymore. I am the master now. That's not arrogance. That's alignment with who you truly are and who you're becoming. Because, make no mistake, every time you choose discipline over distraction, vision over emotion, purpose over pleasure, you are carving a new identity into the stone of your soul. You are training the most powerful force on earth, your mind, to serve you, to obey you. No longer a prisoner of thoughts, no longer a slave to impulses, but a builder, a warrior, a creator of destiny. This is where your power lives, not in feeling good, but in choosing well, not in motivation, but in mental dominion, not in waiting for life to change, but in becoming the one who changes it. You don't need permission. You don't need rescue. You don't need applause. You need command. Because the life you want is not found in comfort. It's found in clarity, in courage, in conquest. So, from this moment forward, no more maybe. No more someday. No more obeying a mind you never designed. You are the author now, the architect, the ruler of the realm within. So master your mind, or be ruled by it. The choice has always been yours.